Shit. G'day. Well, if you saw my recent video about the car show, I'll leave a link at the end for that if you haven't. I hope you enjoyed it. However, if you're like most people and you have a daily driver that's anywhere from 20 years or so on, you'll find that most cars have plastic bumpers. Sometimes quite a big plastic bumper. And without going into how this happened, we have in this case a pushed-in bump here on the plastic bumper of this Mazda. Now, the insurance excess is $650. So I thought you might like to join me on my very first attempt of removing the dent from the bumper. We also have some scratches there, which if you want to hang around, I'll show you how to get rid of those, buffing the paint. Because this is still only a few years old car, I'll probably end up minimising my costs and paying a professional panel beater to probably paint where it's got a couple of deep scores in there. I can spray paint, but it's a bit tricky because it's metallic to get right. And if it was just an old beater, maybe you could get away with it, but anyway. So, attempt number one. Videos I've seen, people actually even use boiling hot water, which I guess you'd have to pour very slowly over the area to heat that up. You obviously have to treat it a bit differently than you would if it was metal. So the idea is to heat that up. I'm going to try a trusty old hairdryer, which hopefully will be hot enough. People say use heat guns. I don't have a heat gun, so short of borrowing one, or I've never used one in all my life, buying one, I thought it's worth trying with a general hairdryer. And the idea is to try and get behind here and, with the assistance of heat, push that out, and it should, with a bit of care, come pretty well back to what it was. So at least that part will be taken care of. So let's plug this in and start. Now, obviously you do this with the engine cold, because you don't want to be burning your hands on the hot exhaust. So up under here somewhere is an inner guard which should pull off, but I may be able to slip my hand up there, hopefully. Yeah, I can feel it there. So once I heat the outside, I should be able to push on there. If I can get my whole hand in there, I'll have to lay on the ground and see if that'll pop out, and then we'll tackle getting the paint in order. The car's dirty, by the way, too, because we've had a week of rain, which is why I haven't been able to do this video before. Okay, I'll probably speed this up after a while and turn the... Well, maybe put some music over it while I do, because obviously these are pretty loud. So let's turn it on. Onto high. Oh, I meant to say too, again, I don't know if this will work, you're about to find out when I do. You want to keep the thing moving, you don't want to get too much heat in one spot. Anyway, let's have a go. That's all we can do. I actually have my doubts this will get hot enough, but anyway. Well, it's not that hot, but I have my doubts this will work without a heat gun. Let's continue, and we'll start pushing it from behind anyway. Let's climb underneath. Good small suction caps that might work too. Okay, where are we at? Here we go. Oh, there you go. I hope this is filming. Did you see that? That was live, real time. Wow. Okay. I'm so glad I was recording at the time. Oh, I was about to say, I pulled the GPS suction cap mount off, but that's actually very good. That's I'm glad I filmed it. I was going to say, if you say you had a dent in another part, you can put a suction cap on there. I think you can get them in various sizes and pull it out. But as you saw, with me, they just popped out. And really, it's, if you have a look, I'll just take this off the tripod. That's even pretty well how it was from the factory. I thought I'd have to work along this crease line there, but it's by feel. That is all. Hard to see because of the reflections. As far as I can tell, might be a slight rise there. As far as I can tell, that's back to where it was. Can you see that? I think there's maybe a tiny crease there where it hit. Not sure if I can reach under there. I can actually. I'll try and show you what I'm pointing at, but up there, I'll get my hands there. The crease lines are on there. Not sure I can do any better than that. Well, that's a surprise to you and me. I was going to say this, I just worked that around for ages. Well, not that long really, a couple of 5 minutes. Oh no. There we go, also live bleeding. I've cut myself on the plastic. Oh, it's probably going to pour out blood for ages. Because I'm on aspirin every day from the heart attack 2 years ago, so I do tend to bleed a lot. But this isn't about bleeding. Look at that. Huh. Alright. Well, there's this tiny dot there. I don't think I'll get that. I'll hit it with a hairdryer for a few more minutes and see, but I don't think you'll notice. Look at that, pop straight out. Wow. Okay, so I'll do a bit more of that. Then I'll show you how I think we can buff this out, because it's really not scratched, it's more like paint. It's come off. Okay. Reached in behind there and pushed on it, but that is so close to how it originally was, and it's actually fairly hot too, even off that. But I did hold the hairdryer pretty close, as you saw, because obviously this isn't a heat gun. I'm very impressed. Yeah, that's quite hot. Yeah, so I just pushed it with the tip of my thumb there, behind that panel. Okay, well, let's move on to getting rid of this this mark up here. Alright, well, got a rag, not the cleanest, some kerosene. First of all, before I think about trying any cutting compound, I was going to start with plastic polish, but I think a lot of this mark will come off with a little bit of kerosene maybe. Let's try. Well, only kind of where I'm bleeding on my arm, as you also saw live, it doesn't particularly feel great. A lot of that was just from the sign that the car accidentally bumped into the standoff by itself. And just in a circular motion, giving that a rub. And most of it's coming off without any use of the buffing machine I was about to use, which I'll still use down below. Yeah. You could probably use soapy water for this too. Watch my video at the end if you want to see how to buff scratches out with a buff. This isn't the way. Fresh bit of rag, a little bit more care. I wouldn't suggest using methylated spirits or white spirits, I think they call it in the States, because that can mark the paint. Whereas kerosene is oil based, it usually won't. And don't use acetone either, because the paint will definitely come off. Big improvement. Big improvement. I'm pressing firmly, but not too hard. That's pretty good. Look at that. Excellent. Still a bit of a workout, but looks pretty good. Not sure how well you can see it on camera, but it looks pretty good. Right. Okay. Give it a good wipe off with the rag. Probably wash and polish, or wash anyway, it would help. Because it's the weekend, so any extraneous noises you hear aren't from me. It's not too shabby. Well, big improvement. So, if you can see that, I know it's going to be hard to tell from the camera, but that is, believe it or not, back to normal. Oh, even that came off. It was just dirt from where I was rubbing. So all you have to do, all I have to do, not you, maybe that might even come off too. I'll hit it with the buff, like these actually are, into the paint. I'll hit it with a bit of compound and see what that does. Okay, so with the neighbours using tools, I'm just going to hit this with a bit of plastic polish up here, where you saw me buff that off, just because, and then I'm going to hit it with some buff and shine. I won't go extra cut down on those scratches, but let's see what we can do with that. Now, referring to the video at the end, put a bit of, wet the pad with a bit of water. Whoops, too much. Just smear the compound across Don't go overboard, this will splash everywhere. Let's see. Start off with a pretty small speed, don't go too high, you don't want to risk burning the paint. Let's go. And of course use a swirling motion. And now we'll just put some compound down below on those scratches. Now we'll just go over those scratches with some of this. A bit more water. That's to stop burning the paint. Bit more water. That's probably as good as we're going to get that, I think. Now rub that off with a good microfiber towel. I actually find baby nappies actually really good too. As a temporary stopgap, you can put a little bit of touch-up paint on those holes, those lines there. But we'll do that another day. Big improvement. Bonus tip, if you can find nail polish very close to the colour, you can also use that in place of touch-up paint. So there we have it. Not perfect, but a vast improvement. Alright, cheers. Check out my videos in the links. Bye. Not bad. Now I'm going to throw in the towel.